Hello, my name is Claudia Sanchez. This is Erin Singleton. And today we're going to be talking about Egypt. Erin and I will be leading a trip to Egypt in December with Ruth Schilling as our host, who's actually online. If you would like to ask her any questions, go ahead and you can chat with her anytime. We will be discussing for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll open it up to questions if anybody wants to ask us any questions. We may run over just a little bit, so just kind of be aware of that. And we have a lot to cover today, so I'm going to pass you on to Erin.
All right. Thank you, Claudia. One of the exciting things about Egypt is that it's Egypt. Can't get any better than that. Now, I'm just going to share with you briefly my experience up to now. And 1998 was my first trip to Egypt. Flying into Cairo, I was, as we were circling, I could see the pyramids, and I was literally crying because it felt like I was going home. Now, my experiences there were pretty normal as far as, going into the pyramid and going to the other sites along the Nile. But it was when I got home that, we started to have the downloads of information, how to blend essential oils, how to build a net neutral ion generator, which I built. And with that charges up the brass tools and crystals and things that we have been using now for, since 98, 99, when I built the generator. Again, in 2006, and that was when I first met Ruth and went on a trip with her. Again, the trip itself was not that phenomenal until I got back. I started to realize, though, while I was there, that some of the artwork I was seeing on the walls in the temples and on the papyruses in the museums, it wasn't just artwork. The positions that the bodies were in, the hands were in, were telling a story. And it was where to put your hands in order to heal or to balance your chakras or whatever it was. So I cataloged about 35 different hand positions after I got back. Now, I was back in Egypt in 2008. And that was not really a big tour. Went with Ruth, of course, but we kind of skipped out on our own and did our own thing and had a fantastic tour. Now, in 2009, when I was there, numbers started to come to me. And when I came back, I created the biomorphic geometry, which many of you have seen on the website or have experienced. And different numbers and shapes and things still come to me now. And that was 2009. So I like to think of, a trip to Egypt as an opportunity to open your consciousness so that you can have experiences like I had and am still having. Now, I was really, let's say, drawn to Egypt back in the early 1990s. It was just something that happened around 93. And that was when I first discovered the energy of life healing process. As it came to me, I discovered the positions of the solar disk and the headdresses of the gods were not just decorations, but had healing potential. And I'd like to start with that. So when you look at the headdresses of the gods, you see a solar disk that might be positioned above the head, might be a certain size. Some even have 2 rows of discs going up. And each disc, depending on its size and position, indicates a different frequency of light that these gods worked with. So a friend and I would sit about 10 or 12 feet apart. I would put my hands in the position, placement, let's say, of the disc, and she would receive that information. And I'm going to share that with you right now. So when I put my hands right here, I put my thumbs just about at my eyebrows, creating the disc by joining my fingers. Use the energy to project the energy to you. Feel the energy. Where do you feel it? Does it hit you in the chest, the face, the head? Be a little different for most. No, I can't say that. Sometimes it's everyone kind of feels the same. Sometimes it's a little different from person to person. I raise my hands up so my thumbs are at my hairline, my used to be hairline. Then how does that change the frequency? Where does it go? You start to get the feel of what I was saying, that the discs themselves represent the frequency or the energy, and they're not just there for decoration. If I go on up above my head, and again, where do you feel the energy? Some of you may actually feel it above your head. All right. Now, Horus had a huge solar disk behind his head. So if I bring my hands out to create the solar disk of Horus, be aware of how this feels compared to those first three positions. So some of you may want to take notes on some of these things. All right, now I'm going to bring my hands down, because if I'm making solar discs like that for any period of time, my arms are going to get tired. And I figured that out a long time ago. All right, so that's just one of the many things that you will experience or see in, let's say, in the Valley of the Kings, where things are painted on the wall and you step in front of them and you feel the energy emanating from the artwork. The museums where you will experience statues, just as I did, you stand in front of the statue and you can feel the energy coming off of it. So that is why I am returning and have asked Claudia to join me, because of her gifts to talk to statues and art and all kinds of things, that we're going to have a fascinating trip. Now, on this trip, one of the first things that we do in the first few days there is actually get to enter the Great Pyramid. Now, the Great Pyramid, I have never believed that it was a tomb, and most people of any spiritual and metaphysical background do not feel that it was a tomb, and there was never any sign of anyone being buried there. But it is a portal. So if you are in the Great Pyramid, when you first come in and you're standing on the one end of the chamber, you see the sarcophagus in front of you. Behind that sarcophagus, that wall, is a portal, and your consciousness can get transported through that portal out into the universe, and who knows what information you will receive. Now, one of the ways to get there yourself, we have what is called the sarcophagus stone, and it's based on that sarcophagus inside the pyramid there in the king's chamber. And it is a sodalite. You take that in your right hand and you cover your navel with it, and then you put your left hand spread across your collarbones. Now, we don't have the stone here, and you don't have the stone there, but we're still going to go there. So for those of you that have a piece of paper handy, I'd like for you to write King's Chamber. That's all you need. King's Chamber, not the King's Chamber, just King's Chamber. Write that on a piece of paper or a Post-it or something that you can put under your chair or beside your chair, and go ahead and put that in either place, either under or beside the chair.
Folks are getting anything. Some time.
Never sit down and talk so loudly.
Just make sure everyone's settled there. Okay.
All right.
Oh, not yet. We still got Tammy. Tammy, I think, went to go get some paper.
Still got one or two people getting paper. But everyone else, go ahead and write King's Chamber if you have not done it already.
Tammy's back. Okay.
All right. So as I said, write King's Chamber, put it under your chair or beside the chair. We are going to send the energy, the frequency of the King's Chamber to you to transport you there energetically. Quick little journey. All right, so everyone's got it under the chair. So as I said, with the sarcophagus stone, you put your hand over the navel. So I'm going to have you do that anyway. Just take your right hand, cover your navel, just flat against there. Take your left hand, cover, well, right under or on your collarbones. And then we are going to send the energy to transport you to the King's Chamber. Some of you may actually feel the energy in the room where you are change as it becomes the King's Chamber, or at least the frequency of the King's Chamber. All right, so that is a brief, very brief journey. Some of you were able to connect and feel, maybe even have a vision or something to write down there in your notes. Now, let's see. This is on YouTube, right?
This is on YouTube, yeah.
Now, we created a video all back some time ago, but it is on YouTube now, showing you how to make this pyramid. All right. So this pyramid has a 3-inch wide base, but the sides are 6 inches. So the how to make the template, tape it together, and make your own is on YouTube. Now, some of you actually made it, sat over it, felt the energy, and I'm not sure what you did with it after that. But if you sit over it, let's say 3 days a week, it will start to open your consciousness up and connect you not only to Egypt, but to Atlantis and other lands also. So it has a spiraling energy that comes up through the body, similar to a Kundalini spiral, but it opens your consciousness. So if you did make it and you felt the energy and then you put it on the shelf or in the trash, please make another one, because you're missing the point with that one. It's like the more you use it, the more information, the more intuitive you will get, because it's going to open things up. And that's what this is all about. So even if you are not planning a trip to Egypt, to have your energy centers opened up, your intuition 5 times stronger, please use that pyramid. Now, many people don't know if they should go to Egypt. May or may not be on your bucket list. So we're going to do a little something now to help you decide whether you go with us or you go sometime in the future. This might help you decide. All right, so we are going to pull the energy of Egypt in. When we say the energy of Egypt, we think about what we know of Egypt at this point. So the pyramids, the Sphinx, Luxor Temple, things of that nature, Valley of the Kings, the temples along the Nile. We go on down to Temple of Isis and all the way down to Abu Simbel. This is what we know as Egypt. But Egypt itself has a frequency. So we're pulling in that frequency. And we would like for you to turn your palm up, just one palm. We're going to put the frequency of Egypt into your palm, just like it was a drop of oil. So everyone, turn your palm up, just one palm. And here we go. We're going to bring this energy into your palm right now. Just a little drop. Some of you may feel that coming into your palm. Go ahead and rub your palms together just a couple of times. Turn your palms up on your lap. Now feel the energy as it travels up your arms and into your body. Now this energy may give you some really good dreams tonight, but be aware of what it feels like right now, where you feel it in your brain, your consciousness, your body. So that energy will be going through you for the next 3 or 4 hours. So once we finish this tonight, you will be able to still sit and meditate and get in touch with Egypt more easily, just by that little bit of energy in your palm. Hope you have fun with that one. All right. You want? Skip that. It's time. What else is up to this?
Oh, how to enhance your intuition.
Yeah. All right. This is a good time to kind of open things up for questions and maybe share a little bit of what you're feeling.
I have a question,
Sure.
Tammy. So just to kind of circle back to what you said about the pyramid, Is there another configuration that you had mentioned? Pyramid configuration? No.
No,
Okay. That was what you meant, right? Creating that pyramid?
creating that paper pyramid to sit over to enhance the energy and open your intuition. That's the only thing that we've brought up in the last couple of weeks, that we put it on TikTok and YouTube.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
What are you experiencing with the energy going through you?
I could feel it very strongly in my palms, and then I feel a lot behind the eyes.
Oh, good. That's
Good.
great.
Now, how about when I did the projection of the solar disk? Could you feel that? Where did you feel it?
I felt the solar, I felt them like the first one, you know, I felt third eye, and then here, and then the Horus one, it was like my whole being. I felt that one. That was really great. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah, so that energy, the Horus energy, because I was a high priest of Horus more than once, I carried that energy very strongly.
Yeah, that was great.
Mhm. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, the Egyptian the energy felt to me, it was very strong and grounding. Felt like it was very encompassing. Like it just kind of like made my whole, like I didn't want to come out of it. Like it's just kind of like really, yeah, it felt really nice. So
Thank you, Addis. I felt that too.
Yeah.
I felt like felt like a male energy to me, but just kind of strong.
All right. How about when we were in the Great Pyramid and had your hand on your abdomen and collarbone? Were any of you able to journey just for a few seconds and join us in the King's Chamber or anywhere else?
And you can also chat if you don't want to talk. It's totally fine.
I couldn't visualize anything, Aaron. It's Tammy again. But I felt the temperature change where I'm sitting. So it felt cooler and more open.
That's
I mean, I had my eyes closed, but you know, that's as much as I felt. Yeah, but I definitely felt something.
It is a little bit cooler inside the King's Chamber.
Okay.
I could see the sarcophagus.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was like I was standing right next to it. So,
Huh.
yeah,
that's so cool.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. This is all for you guys tonight. So anyone else, let's share because it may help someone else. All right. What's next on this?
We have the,
Hey, hi, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Hi, it's Gary. Yeah, I could feel I get a real, a warm, kind of a burning sensation in my chest. And, just the thought of Egypt, is just really gets me tingly, because we were actually there with Ruth last year, and we're coming back with you, in December. So, yeah, the connected energy with Egypt that I brought back is very powerful, and I feel it and I draw on it every day. And I am so excited to come back again and get deeper and more connected, and it's going to be fun.
Well, that's what this is all about. So everything that I've experienced and learned, I'm going to share as much as I can with everyone that's there. And I like to do that right now with the Energy of Life healing process. So I'd like everyone to turn both palms up on your lap. So be comfortable, arms of your chair or lap. The Energy of Life process actually came to me in like 94, long before I actually went in 98. So we're going to send the energy to your palms. As we send the energy into your palms, might feel it as heat or tingling or pulsing, pressure. Inhale, draw that energy up your arms, all the way up to your shoulders, your neck, to top of your head. Exhale it down through your body and out your feet. Each continuing breath. Inhale, draw the energy up through the body, all the way to your crown. Exhale it down through your body and out your feet. Now, for some of you, 2 or 3 breaths, and you will have it going all the way through and out your feet. For others, it may take a little longer. That's okay. Sometimes it's got to get through some blockages, little places that we have some stuck energy. And just breathe. Be connected to the energy. So the energy of life is represented by the Ankh. So we see the Ankh being held and used in many different positions, especially in the artwork, let's say in the museums. We see the Ankh as coming down as like a ray from the sun. At the end of that ray is a little hand holding the Ankh that is feeding the pharaoh the energy of life. Now, some say that because that particular little hand coming down is closer to the front of the face, some say that the pharaoh is inhaling the energy of life. I've always felt that it was coming into the mouth as food, as the energy that we would take in, just like eating. And I have demonstrated that in talks that I've done in the past. I just took full, hour-long talks about the Ankh itself and the energy of life. So as the energy of life flows through you, it bathes every cell in your body in this energy. It has the ability to awaken you, awaken your consciousness. We use it for healing. So I'll give you an example. 6 years ago, I had a root canal that needed to be redone, got infected, and my dentist arranged for me to have a 3D x-ray of that same tooth a week later. And in 1 week's time, when I got to the 3D x-ray, I had totally healed the tooth, and the bacteria, the pocket that was showing up in the original x-ray was gone. 3 or 4 years ago, I had a cracked tooth on the upper right, and quite painful. Hot, cold, sugar, anything would get in there. And it took me about 3 months to heal it, but my dentist was amazed. He is a holistic dentist, and he's still kind of amazed that I still don't need a crown. You can see what looks like a cracked tooth. I can chew anything on it. It's not sensitive to hot or cold or sugar or anything. It almost like it glued itself back together. So the energy of life is, as a practitioner, it is what I use every day to help people release emotional issues or to remove physical traumas, pull concussions out of the head, whatever it is that needs work. So as the energy of life is going through you, you may feel, your body relaxing more as it is taking stress and tension out. So even if you only used it when you got home from work and you sat in your lazy boy or whatever chair of choice, and you move the energy through your body, it could very easily take all the stress and tension out from the day's work and the commute. And what a great way to start your evening and dinner, and you know. So many different ways to use it. We actually talk to it, so it has consciousness. So we will sometimes say energy of life, align my spine, or release the muscle tension from my shoulder. And just by doing that, the energy of life will focus there and align the spine, release the shoulder tension, whatever it is that we need. So it has definitely been a big growth process since '94 to learn more and more about the energy of life. Abu Simbel is probably one of the best places to see it represented, because you see the carvings of bowls, which represents the vessel, and we are the vessel. And it will have the standing in the middle of the vessel, holding the rod and the staff. And there's quite a few of those carvings throughout that site. And glad that we're going to get to go to Abu Simbel. Not every trip goes there, but to look for things like that anywhere you go throughout the Valley of the Kings or to the temples. Now, one of the things that I have been guided that we will be doing is we'll actually be activating some of the tombs that we go into in the Valley of the Kings. Now, when I say activating, it's kind of like what we just did with the little trip to the King's Chamber and the putting the hands over the abdomen and collarbones. But if any of you have a crystal handy, not a quartz crystal, but let's say an amethyst is excellent crystal for this. I would say that's one of the best. Citrine can be a little intense, but whatever you have, so we won't pick and choose. Whatever you have, hold it in your hand.
We got a question from Marta. She wants to know if you can send this to others as a surrogate.
So yes, the energy of life, of course, can be sent to others because we do distant healing all the time. And sometimes we have people on the phone, and sometimes they're in absentia. And so I work on people when they're flying on the plane, working in the office, kids are in school. I send the energy of life, and the work still gets done. I have people that I have never spoken to. It's always been through, their mother or someone. And we're not talking kids here. We're talking, 23, 25, 30-year-olds. And mom says, I'm going to set you up with an appointment. And they say, okay, mom. And their life changes. So we see that all the time. All right.
All right.
So let's.
Some folks got up.
All right. So we're going to wait for a couple of people to get a crystal.
And while they're doing that, I just want to mention, I'm going to be honest. So Egypt was something that I never thought I would ever want to go, because I had, for some reason, strangely enough, I was intrigued by it since a child, but I had, for some reason, fear regarding around Egypt. And when I got to understand that I had some past lives there that I had to heal. And as I've been doing that and setting myself as a commitment, I can't tell you how much I just feel like it's home for me. So I just wanted to share that, because I don't know if some of you feel sort of hesitant or wondering if it's the right thing for you. I've had to look through, by using the energy of life healing process, kind of go into meditation and have the energy of life healing process show me what was my hesitation. And once I once I discovered what it was, I knew that it was time to heal it. And since I got through that hurdle, now I'm able to see things in terms of what I did back in the days and what I learned and what I was able to do. So some folks might feel extremely connected, like they know they need to go. Others feel intrigued, but a little bit afraid. Just kind of letting you know that that's completely normal, and you can use the EOL to help you figure it out, to help you heal whatever needs to be healed, and to discover, why are you being drawn to it? Aaron had gone, I believe, 4 times, and every time he came back, it was a whole different experience, whole different information that came through, so that he can create things and help people. And there have been other stories of people who have gone to Egypt that they never really come back the same. They each have a completely different way of the experience. One person, I believe, wrote a book, and other people just completely just changed their lives. So I just wanted to share that with you, and then I'll pass you on to Aaron for this crystal demonstration.
All right, so everyone's back with their crystal. Just hold it gently in your palm, feel its energy. And we are going to send the energy to activate the crystal. Now, what we mean by activate is actually bring a life force into that crystal. For those of you that don't have a crystal, we're going to send you the energy of garnet. So still hold your palm out. So what you may feel is a sensation, tingling. It actually, like I said, the life force of that crystal that you're holding, it's like a flower, it's blooming. And once it is activated, you can talk to the crystal. You can feel its energy, go through your body, or just sit there in your hand, whichever, whatever is right for you in the moment. I've done this before, and people will be looking and kind of petting the crystal like it's alive. Can I keep it? And it's like, yes, it is. We have brought life into this. Well, I can't say we brought life into it. It was already alive. We just kind of woke it up. All right. So as you hold your crystal there, who would like to share their experience right now as far as what that feels like?
Feel had a overwhelming sense of relaxation, started yawning.
Are you doing, Tammy, are you doing the
Amethyst.
or do you have
I have an amethyst.
amethyst? That's
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
And then I could feel it very strongly vibrating in my palm. And there was it was not an unpleasant feeling, but it was like a bit of a more than a tingling, almost a burning, but not unpleasant, going up the forearm. Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Barna says that she has a numbness in her hand.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if you have a numbness in your hand, let your hand relax more. Put your hand on your lap and let the energy move. It sounds like the energy is not moving. All right. Someone else?
Yeah, it's Suzanne. I have an amethyst, and I have this overwhelming feeling of being happy. It's happy and smiling. It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
It doesn't matter if we
Yeah.
had If we hand everyone an amethyst, we'll get different reports across the board.
Well, no, definitely happy and smiling.
Great. Someone else?
Barna says that her stone was carnelian. Does that have anything to do with the numbness at all? No.
Yeah, the fact that it's carnelian would not have anything to do with the numbness. Which hand do you have that carnelian in?
She didn't say. She's chatting. Oh, wait, in her left,
All right.
left, yeah.
All right, so your left first rib is misaligned. So what that's doing, it's creating a blockage and not allowing the energy to flow. Your elbow is also slightly misaligned. And all right. So let's do this for everyone. We're going to raise the shoulder, raise your left shoulder up. Kind of roll that shoulder behind you a little bit and hold it there. We're going to align your first ribs. This is one of the things that the Energy of Life has taught us over the years. Just hold. Let the energy do the work. All right, relax the shoulder. Roll it around a little bit. That should be looser. And for the elbow, just let the arm hang at your side. You might want to switch hands with the crystal and just let the arm hang loosely, and we will put your elbow back into alignment. While that is happening, let's get everybody's right first rib in alignment. Same thing, raise the right shoulder up, kind of roll it behind you, hold. All right, and relax the right shoulder, roll it around, that should be looser. All right, we might as well continue from there. We're going to just go ahead and start aligning everyone's spine. So there's 4 of you that your atlas is misaligned. A couple of you with like C2, 3 misaligned. Only maybe 1 or 2 with some thoracic misalignment. We go on down to the sacrum tailbone. 3 people with tailbone misalignments. And 6 of you with a pelvic misalignment, so pelvic tilt. And then we're going to flip around to the front of the body at the same time. So you got 3 of you that have a deviated septum, meaning that your septum in your nose is misaligned, which would create a breathing problem. We're going to go ahead and adjust that deviated septum. And you know who you are because you have the breathing problem. All right. Now, some people will feel their body move and make the adjustments. Others, they will just feel their tailbone click. Sometimes the tailbone vibrates as it's going back into alignment. You may feel your head move a little bit as your atlas is adjusting. Nasal bone just kind of slips back in and you start breathing more evenly and deeper. This is all as a result of working with the Energy of Life over the years. So not only has my intuition been greatly enhanced, but my ability to do healing like this with, if there were 100 of you on right now, then we would be adjusting 100 people simultaneously. That's how powerful the Energy of Life is. If there were 300 of you, we would be doing the same thing.
And for those of you who don't know, we do have this on TikTok, the see, the part number 2 of the energy of life teaches you how to bring your body back into alignment. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, definitely take a look at that. We actually send you the energy, and you can feel the energy through for those who can feel that through 1, and then we have part 2, 3, 4, and we have a part 5 coming up in November, which will be more about how to heal your long COVID.
All right, so let's check in. Who all felt things align? How's the breathing for those of you with the nasal bone misalignment?
I think there was someone earlier that wanted to talk about before we started doing this. Oh, here we go. Someone, texted, I heard it and felt nasal bone.
Okay, all right. So you heard and felt the nasal bone. Well, you know, if the doctors do it, they stick a balloon up there and break your nose. And it's no fun. You probably like our way of doing it better.
Barna said she felt very hot.
All right. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that some of you have not committed. You've said you're going on the trip, but you have not committed. One of the things that really helps this work is getting our permits and things early. But not only that, you know, hotels in Egypt and boats in Egypt and planes in Egypt are not like here in the States. So if we are, you know, booking a plane to fly from Cairo to Luxor, and they only have 2 planes flying that day, and you're last minute, well, you may be taking a 5-6 hour bus ride because there's no room left on the plane because Ruth was not able to, you know, secure that space because someone hadn't committed. For our
I'll just pop in here because I'm Ruth here. So I've already booked the airline tickets for the people who are registered. So we're in, but for people who have not registered, I can't guarantee until we actually book those flights. You might end up on an overnight train or something. Okay.
all right, thank you.
But
Ruth.
we have the pyramid permit. I paid for it and everything, and we have the Sphinx. So we're good to go on that.
All right. Okay, so that is the reason that I'm bringing this up is because it doesn't work like it does here in the States. If we don't get those seats on the plane in advance, or sometimes the berths on the boat for the Nile trip from Luxor down to Aswan, then don't know.
Some more folks that want to talk about their experiences with a crystal.
All right, what happened with your crystal?
Okay, let's see. Esther says she's a white amethyst. I have a white amethyst and feel the energy in my body. The third eye. Let's see, receding and tingling.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Tammy says she feels more space in the nasal passages. I also feel an adjustment on the right side of my body, pain moving out of my right heel. Very cool.
So the energy of life, as we started earlier, going through your body will continue as long as you are willing to sit and experience it. And as it flows through the body, it will take more tension out. Neck, shoulders, back, wherever you need that tension released. So I'm kind of limiting my, sharing tonight with what we're going to be doing in the Cairo area, and then the next month we'll be talking about the temples at Luxor and the Valley of the Kings, and then of course the one after that will be about some of the stops along the Nile between Luxor and Temple of Isis, and about the Temple of Isis itself. Some of the experiences I've had, and some of the experiences that I hope to share with you energetically as we're going through those.
I just want to interrupt for a second. We had a few other folks. I know Susan wanted to share something earlier. Want to go to her, but also want to mention Catherine. She felt her hip realign. That's cool. Thank you, Catherine.
Mhm.
So Susan, did you want to mention something from earlier from before?
Yeah, the crystal, I have the tourmaline and
Okay.
I feel a lot of activity in my crown. It's almost like energy is like spares are coming out, spares of energy are coming out. Like it's hard to describe, but
No,
I'm feeling a
That's
lot of it.
interesting. Huh, could it be the like man-made frequencies, EMS, what she's feeling coming out?
Mm.
No,
Feel it.
because I've used tourmaline before for EMFs,
Oh, okay.
but that's not it. Erin says that's not it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it does appear to be man-made frequency, but it's not not electromagnetic.
Okay, so it's releasing, right?
Yes, it's releasing.
Well, it's cool because I used to have a tourmaline bracelet, and I would put it on people, and I would test them with their phone and without their phone, and it would throw off their polarity and actually tilt them without the bracelet and just with the phone. And then when I put the bracelet on, they felt a lot more grounded. So that is definitely a great stone to have.
Okay.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have someone from Dorothy. She's planning to book for 2. Would like to be on flight with others from the US to Cairo. Can anyone share your flight number? Oh, sure. And where you're flying from? See, out of, well, I know that we're gonna be out of Boston. I don't know, Ruth, would you like to take this one over? All right, so Ruth's just gonna talk to her. All right, so is there anyone else?
Okay. Oh, sorry. I had to unmute myself. I was answering. Yeah, if you go to the website, and you can even just send me an email, then we can start getting you signed up, and also I can send you all the flight information so that you can match up with Erin and Claudia, or I'll also send you other suggestions of flights that would work out, and make sure you book the right day and the right time and stuff, because the flights go overnight. So, people are arriving on the 5th, but that means you have to have your flight on the 4th in order to get there on the 5th and things like that. So I'll put in my email. It's just allOneWorldTours@gmail.com. But I'll put that in here again if you want to copy and paste it or something like that. Okay.
Thank you, Ruth.
Mhm.
We have another one. Let's see. Kathy says, I love Ruth. She makes your experience amazing. Thank you, Kathy.
And you guys are gonna love Gary and Kathy. As Gary said, they came with me last November, and I'm thrilled that they're going to be coming on this trip. It's just great.
Right.
Fun. Okay. So did anyone else have any comments or have any questions at this time?
Okay. So one of the things also is, while we're in the Cairo area, at the beginning of the tour, we will be spending some time at Saqqara, the step pyramid. And that is a magical place. Big courtyard out in front of the pyramid. So it looks, it's like the size of a soccer field or something. And it's kind of funny because when I was there in 2006, I realized that there was energy, kind of like a maze or a labyrinth or something, that was under the ground. And I started walking it, and I started asking some of the people that were on the trip to, stand here, feel this, stand here. And of course, we find out that there are tunnels under that space. So I was actually feeling the energetics of it without even knowing that it was all under there. There are some very special places around the complex there at Saqqara that when you stand or sit, put your hand against the wall, it's just the energy just radiates out and through you. So we definitely want to, share as much of that with you as we can. That's my thing, is to, I want to take you to where I have experienced it, and just like you're experiencing things tonight energetically as we are projecting it. If you are standing in front of something, you might be, 6 feet away, and you feel nothing. And I might walk over and say, okay, you need to step back 4 feet. You step back at 10 feet, and all of a sudden your whole body is buzzing. So it can be that particular, precise, where you stand outside of a temple, some of the cartouches that are carved into the pillars, let's say, at different sites. It is, but you have to keep your intuitive mind in charge, because if you get into your thinking brain, you will miss a lot. If you're going for a photo op, there's plenty of opportunity for the photos, but the main thing is, what can you bring back? What will be the spiritual awakening that you bring home that will be with you for the rest of your life?
Can I just follow up with that a little bit? When I first was called to Egypt, I anyway, it's a long story. I'll be glad to share it another time. But I thought this is like the only time I'm ever going to get to go, right? Of course, now I've been like 70 times, but at the time I thought it was the only time. And so I wanted to be sure that I would get whatever I needed out of it, And the guides kept telling me, just enjoy. And they said, we're going to be sticking stuff to your aura the whole time. And when you get home, you'll unpack it. So it's kind of like a download, like, when you have a zip file. You're constantly downloading these zip files. And then at the proper time, you'll unzip them and you'll get whatever it is. I mean, think of all the wonderful things that Aaron got, and he's still getting things years and years later. So it's an incredible opportunity. And I just want to reinforce also that what they were saying, that the trip is great, but it's a journey, and that it goes on and on. For many people, it lasts at least 2 years. I mean, Aaron's still getting stuff, but it's with you. It's with you. And the other thing I'll just add in here is that Egypt is about transformation. So when you go, there will be transformations that come about. I mean, for many of us, it's sort of like a before Egypt and after Egypt kind of situation, and it's different for every person. So that's part of the adventure for someone like me, to go with all different people, because I know they're going to have experiences, but I never know who will have it and where and what,
Right.
So that's the adventure.
Thank you, Ruth. And since we committed, we've actually been getting loads of information. The moment we decided we're going to go, it's just, it's pretty much almost every day now, sometimes 2-3 times of downloads.
Yeah.
To get us ready.
You see, once a person makes the commitment, like they send in their deposit or whatever, the tour has started, and they begin then to have things happen.
Yep.
So I see it in 3 chapters. There's the before tour chapter, there's the in Egypt chapter, and then there's the post Egypt chapter. And each one has incredible gifts for you.
That is correct.
Questions. Thank you.
First. Now, we're gonna do something that you're probably not gonna like, but we're gonna turn your crystals off because we don't want you to get overloaded. So we're gonna go ahead and tamp that life force back down. The thing is that once the crystals have been activated, they have an energy field that goes out about 20 feet. So if we leave them activated, you'll go to bed, it'll be in the room next door, 15 feet away, and you will not figure out why you are not sleeping. So we will have other opportunities. We will activate some crystals, I'd say maybe next month. If everyone gets an amethyst or a garnet, especially a garnet, we will activate those and do a permanent activation because garnet is an excellent muscle relaxer, and you will really like that. All right.
So Kathy was with Kathy and Gary was saying that they don't have crystals and they wanted to know if they should get one for each of them and bring it to Egypt.
Oh, yes. Now what we've done in the past is
And what type?
we actually took bags of crystals and we took them inside the Great Pyramid and we put the energy into them in the King's Chamber. So if you are, if you have a special crystal that you would like to bring, but bring a good quartz, like we sometimes will wear a quartz because a quartz can hold all kinds of frequencies. That's an excellent crystal to bring because we can put all the information into that quartz. The information for your whole trip can be in that quartz that you're wearing. That would be one of the best. Some of you may want to bring a garnet or an amethyst, that's fine. We'll be able to activate those, and we can activate them in the King's Chamber, which will make them really special.
I don't want to know if, how about placing your hands on one of the deities like Thoth?
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean about that as far as placing your hands on the deities like Thoth or Horus or whatever. You really don't have to if you're standing before a statue. The energy, if it's an activated statue, the energy is going to come into you from 6, 8, 10 feet away. Obviously, you won't have that opportunity, as say in the museum, to touch too many of the statues.
I'm guessing that what she's talking about is in like the book that the book I did with all the walls of the Nefertari tomb, and they're all pictures of the different deities. So maybe she's meaning like to put her hand on the book, on the page of those different deities. Yeah.
If you are sensitive enough, you will be able to pick up some energy from the book. Obviously, when we go into some of these places, because of the, laws and antiquities and the fact that the paint is old, you can't touch the paint on the actual artwork inside the temples. But we can always find ways to receive the energy, even if we can't touch it.
Esther, I'm just trying to figure out your question. It says, what does the says UNK Ankh SP look like? Do you mean this?
I meant the energy of light that was going to the mouth.
That is the, well, here, let me have it on. So the Ankh represents the energy of life. Okay. So when life is coming in, it's feeding the pharaoh. So at the other end was a little hand like coming from a ray of the sun, holding the energy of life, giving the pharaoh long life and health. Is that what you were looking for?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess
Yeah. So if we actually use that Ankh and fed the energy of it to you right now, you would actually feel that energy go into your body. It's very powerful. All right. Now, if we don't have any other questions, we are going to wrap up. Mhm. Okay,
Okay, folks.
we want to thank you for joining us and hopefully we give you a little something to think about. Make up your minds about going or just get inspired and, you know, get some, I got a whole section of library of books. I mean, of course, I know that Ruth has tons of books. I've been to her place. Got my own little section and it keeps growing. Never can have too much about Egypt in the house.
All right, we'll see you in the next month.
All right.
Okay, thank you, folks.